Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by Monarch Networth Capital. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi from Monarch Networth Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Stanford. Good evening to all. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital, we welcome you all to the Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Q1 FY22 earnings call. We are glad to host the management from Kirloskar Ferrous today. We have their MD, Mr. Gumaste sir, and we have their CFO, Mr. Srivatsan sir with us. So, without taking much of your time, I'll hand over the call to Gumaste sir for the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sahil. Good evening, all of you, and I welcome all of you for the conference call, Q1 results of Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited. I hope every one of you are fine and healthy, and request all of you to take care. Let me start with Q1 sales. Sales for the Q1 is 823.84 crores, as Q1 of last year was badly affected because of COVID-19 related lockdowns. Sales were pretty low. If I compare with Q4, which was reasonably improved quarter, sequentially we have a sales growth of 10%. From 749.69 crores to 823.84 crores. This also because of productionization of newly acquired Hiriyur plant, which is a pig iron plant. Coming to the profit, PBT, profit before tax, stands at 186.35 crores. An improvement of 9% over the fourth quarter, which was at 170.97 crores. PAT stands at 139.29 crores against 135.44 crores Q4 last year. We have also improved upon the EBITDA, which stands at 213 crores for the quarter, against the fourth quarter EBITDA of 197 crores. Both are approximately 26% EBITDA. Coming to the production, pig iron hot metal production was at 139,000 metric ton. During this quarter, both blast furnace 1 and 2 at Koppal, we had taken up for the robogunning or the refractory repairs. Hence, we had production loss both in blast furnace 1 and 2 for 1 week each. However, we have full production coming from Hiriyur plant for 3 months. So the overall production has gone up from to 129,000 metric ton. And with respect to castings, we have a production which has come down slightly compared to last quarter. Last quarter we were at 30,839 metric ton, and this time it is 28,000. We had sluggish month in the month of April and May. The sales of pig iron for the quarter is at 1,17,681 metric ton against the last quarter 1,03,244 metric ton. Casting sales during the quarter was at 27,282 metric tons against 28,600 metric tons. There is an increase in the pig iron sales by 14% overall and drop in the casting sales by 4.6%. However, sales realizations have improved in case of castings by 3.9 rupees per kg from 99.5 rupees per kg to 103 rupees 50 paise per kg. In case of pig iron, sales realization has gone to 40,000 against 37,000 rupees per metric ton in the last quarter. Overall capacity utilization, Koppal pig iron plant is at 93%. Hiriyur pig iron plant utilization for the quarter is at 102%. And all the foundries put together, the capacity utilization is at 76%. And the demand for the casting continues to be strong, except the month of April and May. June onwards, once again, the demand from the tractor industry has picked up. And the current month and the immediate next month, we see good demand for the casting for the tractor industry. Also, commercial vehicles, the initial first 2 months, there is a pickup in the casting sales and demand from the auto industry as well. And also deemed export casting demand has also picked up considerably compared to the beginning of the year. We remain strong on sales as we are getting into the quarter 2. Mainly with strong demand from tractor industry. The total employee-related expenditure remains at 3.6%, same as last quarter of last financial year. Our borrowing remains under control. We have reduced borrowings compared to the last quarter. We are at 178 crores and 100 crores of working capital against 203 crores first quarter and last year. Now coming to the projects in progress, we are continuing with all the projects. Basically, as you know, we have decided to go for Coke Oven Phase 2 to take the capacity of the Coke Oven from 2 lakh metric ton per annum to 4 lakh metric ton per annum, and power plant from 20 megawatt to 40 megawatt. We have started the project and continuing with the investment. Blast Furnace 2 upgrade project also we have started the implementation, and we expect that towards the end of the calendar year 2021, we will be able to take the Blast Furnace to stoppage and complete the upgradation to 300 meters.
Excuse me, this is the operator. Participants, the line for the management has dropped. Please stay connected while we reconnect. MD, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. The line is reconnected. So you may go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected. I was just telling about the Blast Furnace 2 is also, the project of upgrading Blast Furnace 2 is also in progress. We are also starting the project for pulverized coal injection. Hiriyur sinter plant project is also under implementation, and we expect commissioning by the end of first half of this year. Solapur foundry project work has also started to install in the new foundry, and the project is expected to take 1 year. Other projects in capacity utilization improvement in both the lines in Koppal, as well as infrastructure improvement projects, including the expansion of the machine shops, is in progress, and overall we have a capital outlay of about 700 crores to take all these projects forward, and they are
Excuse me, this is the operator. Mr. Gumastak, we can't hear you. Mr. Gumastak, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. Participants, we request you to stay connected while we check the line for MD, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently waiting. The line is reconnected. So you may go ahead.
Yeah, I've just completed my introductory speech. I would now request you to kindly open for the question answers.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star, then 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star, then 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, please press star, then 1. The first question is from the line of Sunil Kothari from Unique Investments. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir, and very hearty congratulations for such a good performance during this very tough time also. Sir, my question is related to this new logo, and we are talking about limitless and customer centricity. So internally, you always do your best to produce a best quality product. What externally this will change, and how you see this change thought process and strategy?
Yeah, I think thank you very much, NG, for this question. I think today in the AGM also, Chairman explained about the vision. We are looking forward with new branding, with the new logo, and with the new tagline of Limitless. I think it's very, very important that we move ahead with the time, and we will have to revitalize our businesses. And what we are looking at is, refocus on customer centricity, and also, harness the limitless potential, and look for offering limitless opportunities to the people, and also look to touch limitless, customer touch and customer service. And we, as you know, KFIL, we will definitely look at repositioning that. We are always focused on working and putting our best efforts in what is key to customers. I have spoken about it earlier that our focus is on what is key to customers, and we would like to deliver those products and services in a better way and bring the refocus on customer centricity. Also, it is very, very important that this is the challenging time, and it is also time where things are changing. We would like to also change, and we look forward to revitalize our organizations to offer limitless.
Great, sir. Sir, my second question is your larger view on strategy and your thought process regarding this external opportunity, which is we hear from a lot of the companies that so many Western world and European companies will not work in terms of development on IC engine. So that can become a very big opportunity for companies like India and companies like Kirloskar Ferrous, who is master of producing very high precision but heavy casting, and we can be a very big global supplier. So what is your thought process on this?
I think it's what you are saying is perfectly right. Opportunities are going to open up and increase. Certain markets may close, but that may open the opportunity and the markets for us. It is for us to
Hello?
Excuse me, this is the operator. We'll check the line for MD sir again.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for patiently. The line is reconnected.
line is getting disconnected. You may have to make one more landline ready if it's possible, and you can give it to Corey.
So your line is unmuted. You may proceed.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Kothari, you may go ahead. Mr. Gumasta, can you hear us? Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. We have the management reconnected, so you may proceed. We take the next.
Sunilji, are you online?
No, sir. Mr. Kothari has left the queue. You may
Okay.
answer the question and we'll move.
Okay. So I can go ahead with the next question.
Okay, sir. Participants who wish to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Govindlal Gilada, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thanks for giving me opportunity. Good evening, sir. I got a couple of questions. First one is on raw material average prices. I want to know coking coal and iron ore for Q4 average and Q1 average, and what is current prices are prevailing.
See, as you know, the coking coal prices have moved up, and I don't remember exactly what was the last quarter and now, but the current prime coking coal prices are in the range of $245, and they have been going up in the last 3 months on regular basis. Even the iron ore prices have moved up from a level of 5,000 rupees per metric ton, and I think they have already gone to a level of 8,000 rupees per metric ton. And but we always have, especially the coal inventory of almost 3 to 4 months, and either they are in the port or on the ship or at our plant. So the usage and the ordering, there is a gap of almost 2 to 3 months. Hope I answered your question.
Okay. See, then this coke oven 2, what kind of capex we are incurring, and what saving we will be having, like coke oven 1, what we have done, same saving we will have for coke oven 2 because it is similar capacity?
Yeah, I think with respect to power generation, it is similar. Power consumption depends on our power requirement. In addition to usage in Koppal, we are looking at the possibilities to use it in Hiriyur and Solapur as well. And with respect to coal to coke, we will have self-reliance, and we will also get the good quality coke, which full quantity will go directly from coke oven through belt conveyors into the blast furnaces. So we'll have some advantage for the full quantity instead of 60% quantity in terms of reduced handling losses and fines generation. So we will have similar benefits like on level 1, but we are already partly getting it converted from others and taking some benefit. But so there will be different benefit arriving for phase 2 compared to phase 1.
So what kind of capex we are putting for this phase 2, sir?
About 250 crores.
And for stage 1, how much we have put?
375 crores.
375 and 250, almost same infrastructure we are putting in phase 2 with less capex.
Some facilities we created while doing phase 1. Like bunkers and conveyors, they're all done in phase 1. But the ovens and charging carts we are adding.
So now raw material prices have gone up, so total impact has come for our price increases for costing, or we are going to take further price increases?
So in terms of casting prices, there are quarterly mechanisms and also negotiated settlements, which are happening every quarter. That is applicable to the castings, whereas the figuring depends on it is a market price, and that depends on the market demand supply, and any price increase, it depends on the market condition.
So I hope, sir, because prices have gone up, so next when we renew our quarterly contracts, so some price increase we will take to compensate this raw material price increases.
There have been already price increases quarter to quarter happening from April also, from July also. Already they have happened. I just mentioned, if you see from 1st of April, there is an increase of approximately 4 rupees per kg.
4 rupees, 1st of April. That is the only price increase you have taken. Again, recent any price increase?
We have taken, our raw material price cost increase is of the order of 14 rupees, and we have also taken similar increases. It depends on customer to customer. Number of increases have happened over the last 1 year.
No, net I want to understand is versus first quarter, second quarter, we will have more average realization for casting, sir, net.
Yeah, you are right.
Some tentative, sir, how much per kg? Any tentative?
Actually, the cost increase is of the order of another 4 rupees per kg.
Okay. So similarly, we will pass on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then last question is, sir, next few years, any our capex plan, anything you can guide on that next 3-4 years, what kind of capex we are planning?
I just now explained the next 2-year capex, which is of the order of 700 crores.
2 years, 700 crores. Thank you, sir. I will come back in queue if I got.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sahil Sangvi from Monarch Networth Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Congratulations for a very good performance in the casting side, sir. Even in times when the CV sales and production were muted, you tried to maintain your volume, sir. So my question is more related to the RM cost, sir. As in when the raw material cost, sir. So
okay.
As in when the new coking coal prices come into our raw material cost, sir, what kind of impact would we see? I mean, the coking coal prices have risen by almost $80 to $100 from 130, 140 levels. So would that completely, I mean, all that would completely come in our cost? Would our spread compress by almost $100, or how much hit can we expect from coking coal, sir?
We were at the blended coal price of about 110, 120, and now it's going to 210. So about $100 is the increase in the input cost as far as the coal is concerned. And the proportionately, there will be increase in the cost of coke.
Okay. And we are also doing some blending, right, sir? So that should lower the overall impact, sir? Or we are also doing blending of coal, right, sir? So would that lower the overall impact?
Increase in the blended cost only.
Okay. Got it, sir. And my second question is regarding the AGM that I attended this morning, sir. So we have disclosed in the AGM that we'll be looking to venture into newer products into castings and also castings out of the iron casting segment. So do we have any plans right now, and what kind of products are we looking at, sir?
No, I just mentioned that in addition to the auto industry and tractor industry, we are also exploring the other like diesel engines and also earth moving equipment, and there are customers who are already on board, and we would be looking at expanding the volume in those kind of castings.
Okay.
Which will have longer life than the smaller engines, whereas the bigger engines, whether it is heavy commercial vehicles or it is tractor and earth moving equipment, so they are likely to have better life, and we can expect that those engines will continue for next 15 or more years.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Kothari from Unique Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thanks. My line was disconnected. Sir, so again, on this external opportunity because of this IC engine related matter, and I'm combining this point with, say, sir, during last 1 or 2 years, what type of new products, new customer you got? Any other similar or maybe different type of products you must be developing for newer customers? So if you can qualitatively talk about the newer opportunity, it will be very helpful.
No, one thing, if you look at the opportunities, I agree with your view that when change is happening, certain geographies of the world, for us, the demand pickup is likely to come, and we are keeping all the options open. When it comes to heavy commercial vehicles, tractors, or earth-moving equipment, many customers and many sectors are opening up. And so if not the passenger vehicles, but other casting requirements, as of now also its demand continuity is there. And we are looking at exploring more and more into those areas so that we can continue to service our customer over the next decade or so.
Mm-hmm. And sir, currently also in this very challenging environment, we were supplying and producing almost 10,000 tons casting per month. So given demand pickup, which everybody is expecting, will you be able to produce how much per month? Maybe 13, 14,000 is feasible, maybe in near term, before this new foundry comes.
Before the new foundry comes, our usable capacity is 12,500 metric ton per month.
Okay, that much you can produce.
It won't be straightforward available. We will have to debottleneck certain areas like fettling, finishing, logistics, and we are in that process. And we expect that we should attempt 12 to 12,500 metric ton per month, reaching that level within next 1 year time before our new foundry joins.
All right. Great, sir. Wish you all the best. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sunilji.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bharat Seth from Quest Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, congratulations, sir, on good set of numbers.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you.
So coming to this casting business, we are we are increasing capacity by 1/3, which will be available at 22, 23. So how this new line will be the different than the existing line, and what new type of customer will be able to service out of this new line?
Basically, we are setting up this line because two of our customers have new requirement, and that new requirement will at least have a life of 7 to 8 years. And the two customers will occupy at least 50% capacity.
Okay.
And balance 50%, we can utilize it for servicing the other customers who are not fully serviced today.
Okay. So when we are talking of developing for high earth,
developing for earth moving as well as very high HCV. So when we likely to see those products, I mean, starting commissioning, and how the profitability of those products will be the different than the existing one?
No, I think if you see a decade back and today, we have already transformed. All of you have seen how we have transformed, and new customers have got added, and new products have got added. Like all the auto components are Euro 6 today. And when we are adding new customers, new castings, or existing customers, new castings, it is definitely there is a blend of new products or new castings as well as continuity of the existing customers with upgrade but increased volume. So it's a combination of both. There is a demand from our existing customers to supply more castings, and it is our obligation to meet their requirement and supply more castings to them. Hence, the creation of quality capacity for meeting the customer requirement is a necessity, and hence we are increasing our installed capacity.
And this price realization for this heavy vehicle or earth moving equipment or from this Solapur new foundry, price realization will be higher than the existing, or it will be in the same range?
No, always it is the efforts to increase the realization.
Okay. Sir, and coming to this expansion of this mini blast furnace as well as Coke 2 plant with pulverization of coal injection and sinter plant at Hiriapur. So how much capex are we doing, and what kind of a benefit we envisage out of this whenever it will be totally commissioned? In FY23 benefit will be available, starting from FY23 benefit will be available.
No, I think it's very important that the benefits will be available almost immediately after commissioning. Maybe stabilization period of 1 or 2 months is required quite often. If we are commissioning sinter plant by end of September, we can expect November, December onward benefit of sinter plant in Hiriur. For example, we are towards the end of the calendar year. If we take up the upgradation of blast furnace 2, a similar benefit like what we are getting in blast furnace 1 with increased output would be available for MBF 2 also. From March or April 22. So all these projects, when we complete and commission after the stabilization period, we get the benefits. And all along, as you have seen, we have been able to produce full and also market and sell the products. So we hope to complete these projects as planned in the coming 12 to 18 months, and also bring the increased production, sales, and growth in the top line as we commission these projects one by one.
And this pulverization of coal injection will reduce the coke consumption by what percentage?
No, depends on what kind of products we make. If we are making foundry grade, pig iron, we can replace up to 80 kg of coke by coal. If we are making steel grade, we can replace even up to 150 kg of coke by coal.
So are we, sir, manufacturing currently this steel grade pig iron, and what is the opportunity for export opportunity for that?
Yeah, I think one is we are seeing the possibility of export opportunities, but always it's a better opportunity for the port-based companies than the interior companies. So we continue to focus on serving the domestic requirement, but we are also seeing the opportunity and possibility to export, and we will not hesitate in exporting if it is commercially viable and competitive to export.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And that's all from us, and all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddesh Saikar from UTI Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hello. Congratulations, sir. The company is doing really well for last few quarters despite the pandemic situation. Sir, can you please elaborate on the working capital cycle, because our customers are in the auto sector, and how will be the debtor days has been, and how? Just on the elaboration on the working capital side.
A very short elaboration. Working capitals are under control. They are number of days wise either exactly same as what used to be earlier, plus minus within a few days. They are well under control. There is only the volumetric increase in our sales has increased the working capital, but number of days wise, I think they are very much under control.
Okay. There has been no any substantial change. I mean, just few 5-10% changes.
Huh?
Just few days, means no.
No, I think they are exactly same or better is my understanding. No increase in the number of days.
Okay.
All the customers have been prompt. Most of the customers, all of them are prompt, and the payments are on schedule.
So actually, because apart from the tractors, because we are facing some headwinds in the, though it is because of reason this pandemic situation.
Yeah, I understand. But even during pandemic, we had very high level of recovery last year, first quarter also. So that gave us the confidence that all our debtors are active and good, and we could recover very close, I think up to 90%, even in the pandemic times.
Okay.
So the current assets are healthy and under control.
Okay. So just on the generally on the creditor side, because on this coking coal and all, just do we get like 4 or 5 months credit cycle or?
Yeah, generally if it is import, we take 180 days credit.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Poladia from Girik Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, most of the questions have been answered. Just one thing, of 700 crore capex, how much is already spent, and what would be the capex number this year?
I expect that the spent already in this quarter is about 80 crores. This not exactly out of 700 crores, but the quarter one spending is 80 crores. If we continue in that phase, our spending could be anywhere between around 300 crores in this year.
Okay. So for the 700 crore capex, do you think you need to raise some debt, or can it be done through the internal accrual? Because last 2 quarters operating profit is about 400 crore. I guess cash generation would be somewhere 270-250 crores. So what would be the peak debt for you for this capex?
As you have seen, end of quarter one, our borrowing has come down. We have borrowed something, but we have also repaid something. So our effort is to borrow less and manage most of the project with internal accruals. But if there are different opportunities, and if we need, we will borrow, and if there is a requirement.
Okay.
But not necessarily and exactly for funding this projects of 700 crores. If we do it in 2 years, we may not require much of borrowing.
Okay. And sir, lastly, any updates on your iron ore mines? Because I guess Q4 you could not lift the quantity. So what's the status there?
Yeah, as you know, we just could do the production, but we could not move the iron ore because of lapse of forest clearance permissions. We are working on that. Unfortunately, some of these clearances are taking unduly long time, and we are trying to put our best efforts. But yes, it is getting delayed, and we are following up to make them operational as early as possible, at least in the second half of this year.
Okay, so you couldn't lift any quantities?
No, we will lift only when it gets cleared. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Ritesh.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jimesh Sanghvi from Principal Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congratulations on good set of numbers. Couple of things. One, I wanted to know, how do you foresee the pricing pressure on the casting side of the business? Are we seeing any kind of feedback from the auto OEMs of not taking the entire price increase, considering the significant increase that has happened in the steel prices? Just wanted to understand if there is a possibility of we taking some hit on our margins because of the cost increase, or will it largely get passed on to these guys, to the OEM, the cost increase?
No, I think the quarterly mechanisms are honored by all the OEMs, and we have been able to settle as per the understanding all the cost increases as per the finance mechanism. There is no failure on that part, and all our customers are honoring.
Okay, so probably the entire increase will probably get passed on. It's probably indexed, and there is no hindrance in that front.
Whatever is the difference in the index will remain, but whatever is the understanding, whichever index, whatever is the understanding, as per that settlements are happening, and everyone is honoring, all our customers are honoring.
Okay. And are we seeing any ramp up in volumes to around 10,000 or 11,000 tons on the casting side in the immediate future, or that will probably happen only next year?
No, I think the demands, as I said, the tractor industry demands continue to be strong. And as auto is picking up, especially heavy commercial and export-oriented customer offtakes are increasing. With that, we are once again back to full production and sales. And we will definitely look for numbers which should be definitely better than 10,000 per month. But there are challenges we faced last 2 months on the logistics and local floodings and local quarantines. Some unexpected challenges have come in the last 2-3 months. Subject to that, I think demand is good, and we will put effort to increase the output and sales.
So the July run rate, has it been something similar to around 9,000 odd tons, or it's a bit better than that?
No, that's what I'm asking. Current demand is more than our full volume, peak volume, where we have sold more than 10,000 in a month.
Okay.
And looking for that kind of numbers, and also going beyond that, because as I just mentioned, our effort is to go to 12,500. Maybe it will take few more quarters, but we have to take that journey and utilize the capacity of 50,000 with these 3 lines.
Okay, fine. And so lastly, on the pig iron side, how were the spreads in Q1 and what are the spreads right now on the pig iron side of the business?
See, I don't have that kind of calculations and numbers with me. We have, as I mentioned, typically 2-3 months coal in pipeline.
Right.
So gradual prices will go up gradually, and what is today's price will be effective after 2-3 months. This is one aspect, which is the cost side, and iron ore is also impacting the cost side. And pig iron prices, as you know, have more or less stabilized. But whatever is the raw material increases in the last 2 months, they have not got compensated in terms of increased pig iron price. We have to see whether the things will improve after the rains recede a little bit, but otherwise it will affect the market.
Mr. Sanghvi, do you have any further questions?
No, I think I'm done. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Sanghvi.
The next question is from the line of Dwanil Shah from iWealth Management. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congratulations on a good set of numbers, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Sir, first question was on the pig iron side, and just wanted to understand as our ramp up is happening. If you can help us, sir, this year, what kind of sales in terms of overall volumes you're looking at on the pig iron side?
On the pig iron side, as I mentioned to you, we are moving to production very close to full capacity, which is currently like 47,000 tons of liquid metal production. And but as I mentioned, we have later part of the year, we have the blast furnace 2 upgrade. With that correction, we will be running full. And after upgrading, we will have higher output from MBF 2. But currently, I would say that we have done with refractory maintenance on blast furnace 1 and 2, and all the 3 furnaces we would be running for a few months before we stop blast furnace 2 for capacity upgrade or modernization of that. So I don't have the exact number, what will be the total number for the year, but we will be operating full blast, full operation, all the 3 from this month onwards.
Okay. So currently, for the quarter, our capacity is close to 135,000, 140,000 metric tons.
Around that, yes. And the sinter plant commissioning will improve some numbers, which will go from 15,000, say 12,500 to maybe 14,500. We expect increase in the output from Hiriyur. And subsequently, towards the end of the year, once we complete upgrade of blast furnace 2, we will get close to 38,000 from copper.
Okay, got it. And in our quarter 1, sir, if you can just help us understand how much will be the pig iron mix in the gross profit, because you all don't provide separate numbers. Just directionally, sir, wanted to understand that in Q1, how much will be a pig iron share in our total business?
No, I think I have mentioned 117,000
No,
is
sir.
the sales.
We did, sir, close to 380 crores of gross profit.
Oh.
On that, how much would be?
Well, I don't have those numbers.
Okay, no issue. I'll take that offline. And so last question was on the mining side, which you referred to the earlier participant also. So just wanted to get more clarity. Where have we stuck here? And because we were earlier confident that I think by March we'll be able to utilize our new mines. So if you can just, sir, explain.
Only one area right now we are stuck is the forest clearance.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it has up and down the file movement many two times, but basically it takes its own time. But forest clearance is what is right now holding us from startup operations.
Okay.
And it involves, as of now, it involves even central government. I think we are stuck there.
Okay. So by Q2, you are expecting that it should get clear?
It should get cleared. I am talking about H2, not Q2.
Okay, H2.
At least, yeah. So if we get at least 3-4 months in the H2, then we can complete our capacity of both mining and transporting to plant within the available time, and we will not lose this year capacity.
Got it. Great, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Raful Devan, from an investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Congratulations for a good set of numbers. I have two questions. The first question is, once this forest clearance for the mines we get, will we be self-sufficient as far as iron ore requirement is concerned?
We are saying that it will cover about 30% of our requirement, and we have a possibility to enhance the production from the mines as the environmental clearance volumes are higher. But we are also increasing our hot metal or the pig iron output. But there is a possibility to increase the utilization from our own mines to at least 50% level.
So does that mean we continue to buy the balance 50% from the market?
Yes, we will continue to buy the iron ore from the market.
And which is iron ore from our own mines is more cost competitive?
Definitely much more. I expect it to be cost effective, as we have bought at reasonable percentage sharing. Hence, it is definitely more competitive.
Okay, and then do we have further plans to acquire more mines, because we are only 50%?
As and when it comes for auction, we will participate and put our effort to acquire more mines.
Okay. And my second question is, in terms of sales mix, what is the contribution currently for this quarter for pig iron and casting?
I think we are at 60% pig iron, 40% casting.
And profitability-wise, pig iron is more profitable than casting. Is that correct?
No, I think both have their own contribution. It varies from time to time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I have the last two questions now?
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next question is from Chetan Phalke from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you very, very much for conducting the conference calls regularly. It really helps us to track the company closely. Sir, from the inputs that you have given over a period of time, it looks like we are going to generate a significant amount of cash flow over the next 4 or 5 years, and which will be more than what our investment plans demand. So just like we acquired VSL Steel last year and we have successfully operationalized it as well, do we have plans to go for any inorganic routes for further expansion in near future or going forward?
We always keep looking for quality assets. And when we come across quality assets, we will definitely look for acquiring them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, from our standpoint, if we have to look at the potential growth in this business, then from where the volume growth will come from? That's what we are trying to understand.
I think looking at number of stressed assets, opportunity of getting a quality asset to acquire has actually improved, and we will definitely look for some of these assets.
Okay. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chetan. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Sanghvi for closing comments.
Yeah. Thank you, Stanford. Thank you, Gumasti sir, and thank you, Srivatsan sir, for patiently answering all the questions. On behalf of Monarch, we also thank all the participants. Gumasti sir, would you like to give any closing comments?
No, I think I would like to thank all the investors and the analysts who have been on the call. Thank you very much for your interest in KFIL, and also thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Monarch Networth Capital, that concludes this call. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you. Thank you very much.